had to be with the reality of what just happened, which is that Sam started the apocalypse after a long period of estrangement. I mean, there was a lot of shit went down between Sam and Dean that can't just be swept under the rug. So we want to play the rich and tragic emotional reality of what just happened between the brothers. What we always want for Sam and Dean, and what Sam and Dean always want, I think, is to be together and to be a team and to be partners. They love each other more than anything in the world. But the situation that has just occurred is making that, at the beginning of the season, almost impossible. So what we'll see is their struggle. And we'll see that unfold over the first several episodes. So, there's a lot of story to play within that. There's a lot of personal guilt on Sam because I would say he has a right to feel personally responsible in many ways for what went down because he pulled the trigger. And it has a lot to do with his weakness. And he's struggling with that, and Dean is struggling with his part in that, and, it's a big ball. Our pattern remains more or less the same.
Okay.
We have access to new monsters of the week because of the apocalypse. These A-list kind of monsters like the Horsemen, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, some of whom will be making an appearance early on. And sometimes there's a crossover. Sometimes a Monster of the Week episode has a mythological element, and we find that is happening a lot because the atmosphere in the world is that of the apocalypse is happening. Kind of, that's the low. There's a low-grade thing, and this isn't like fires in the streets everywhere. Not every person on Earth knows that the apocalypse is happening, but sometimes the Monster of the Week happens because the apocalypse is happening, and sometimes the monster may or may not turn out to be an angel, something like that. But we stick to the tried and true. I mean, the meat and potatoes episodes, I think we love them. We still want to scare you. We think you still want to be scared. So we would never abandon them completely. We don't want to just be one of those puzzle pieces shows where you're kind of trying to do the Rubik's Cube by the end of the 22 episodes. I think that makes it really hard to jump in and out, and it's not as enjoyable. We have an episode with a god you've never seen, lowercase g god. There's a world encyclopedia of demonology that we are still working our way through, the non-possessing demons, various kinds of, you'll see, we're always going to be slashing through the vampires, and the trickster may make a reappearance, things like that. I asked Ben what to do. Well, we approached it cautiously. Cautiously and at the same time irreverently, a little bit. We leave a lot of room for doubt, and what I think we all enjoy is that every character is swimming in a different sort of sea of doubt. Some of our characters believe in God and some of them don't. Pretty much all of them are angry at God at this point, and feel he has a lot to answer for. And the world is a fucking mess at this point, and the apocalypse has actually started. So if the Holocaust and the World Wars and all of the, Darfur wasn't bad enough, this should be bad enough to incite God to make a reappearance from wherever he may be. So where we're at is that if God exists and if he's still alive, everyone wants to know why he hasn't made a reappearance. So the question of where the hell he is present in our characters' minds, and that becomes a story point. We intend to bring her back more than once. I mean, you'll see her once early on in the season, and she kind of clicks in. She'll click in again to the mythology later. I can't say too much about it though. That storyline is still a little bit fluid, so I actually, we haven't pinned down exactly the size of that yet, but our intention is to have her be a major player because we love the character. Rufus, Ellen, Rufus, the hunter, who knows things, Ellen, and Jess, the girlfriend, Ellen and Joe.